What is the foundation of your confidence as a person? That's a question that we should be asking off the back of today's passage. You may remember that we read exactly the same passage when we were back in 2 Kings chapters 18 and 19, and that the whole exchange is exactly the same. It occurs in Isaiah because Isaiah is obviously a key part of the show. He's the messenger of God that comes to Hezekiah in his time of need. But the exchange between the field commander and the officials of Hezekiah begins with this line from chapter 36 verse 4. This is what the great king, the king of Assyria, says. On what are you basing this confidence of yours? And then he begins to mock them, and he begins to, did you notice the bit where he said, I'm deliberately going to speak in the language everybody can understand because I want everybody to be afraid. He's trying to intimidate them. And he says, you think Egypt's going to help you? You think your God is going to help you? Oh my word, look at all these people we've destroyed. Look at all the countries we've annihilated. Did their gods help them? Were their idols any use? No, of course they weren't. And when he's rebuffed, he then comes back a little bit later on and he says the same thing. Are you serious? You really think you're going to be safe? Don't be fooled. Don't be deceived by God into thinking that you can trust him. And for us, we're going to be intimidated. We trust God. We believe in him. We have faith in him. I expect him to help me out. But that confidence gets shaken at times, doesn't it? It usually gets shaken by circumstances. It can be shaken by people sometimes who think it's hilarious or stupid that we believe in God, and they'll come up with arguments that say there's no point believing in God. It doesn't make sense to believe in God today. You must be crazy. And that can cause our confidence to be shaken. Our confidence can be shaken by difficult times, the sort of times that Hezekiah is going through at the moment, where he's suffering and the people are all suffering. They're having to, it says here, eat their own poo and drink their own wee. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets. They're really, really suffering, and times like that can cause our confidence in God to be shaken. And Hezekiah does not seem to be just sort of, oh no, I trust the Lord, I'm just wandering around trusting him. What happens in this moment is he turns to God in prayer. And when he's mocked, he brings these things to God and he says, don't you hear the things that they're saying? Can't you hear, Lord, what they're saying about you? When they write him the letter, the second time around, he spreads that letter out in the temple before God and he cries, the image of him just crying out, do you see what they have right here, Lord? Don't you see it? And from that, the Lord speaks to him and he gives him courage and he reassures him and he gives him boldness. And for us today, if your confidence in God is shaken, I understand that, so is mine at times. Our response should be prayer, and it should be to come to him and say, help me, God. These things, name them before him, are bothering me. These things are troubling me. Would you support me? Would you be my strength again? And as we do that, he will answer and he will strengthen your heart.